Okay, today we are going to work on a block wall. We're going to be designing a block wall, and I'm going to do this in just a few different steps. So the first thing we need to do is you're going to have a plan in front of you that has certain measurements on it. And you have to look at the plan and make a lot size which the house and wall will actually fit on. So in order for me to start this plan, the length of my wall at the longest point is 200 feet, and the width of my wall is probably about, let's see, 89 plus another, let's call it another 30 feet. I'm probably about 110 feet there. So in order that I make this lot size the right size, I'm going to give myself plenty of room, and I'm going to make this rectangular lot 400 feet, and I don't know if your measurements will be different. This is just the one I'm looking at. And by about well, let's call it 300 feet, just to give ourselves a lot of room. And as you can see, my dimensions say that. I typed it right into my keyboard. I hit enter, and we now have a very large lot size that we can start to look at, to build on. I'm going to get into the ISO mode here, and then I'm going to zoom my extents so I can see everything. In fact, maybe my view will be better from the top. All right. The plan in front of you will have a house and the top view of a wall. So everything's from the helicopter view. I'm going to start by looking at the longest span of my wall. That's going to be 200 feet. I'm going to just use my pencil tool and come in here somewhere around this area. I'm going to start my wall 200 feet across. I draw that pencil out, leave it open, type in 200 feet, and I have the first part of my wall. Now, I could go on and do the exact measurements of this, but because yours is going to be a little different than mine, I am now going to just estimate what I have, because yours will be different than mine. So let me type in the rest of these. I'm just going to type in the rounded numbers, and my wall will look like this. Let's try this. No, let's go back. That's not what I was looking for. I want 60 feet. Every one of these numbers is going to be a multiple of 10, simply because I don't want to deal with the issues of, I got 35 feet here. It looks like about 30 feet here. And I can't go any further because now I have a house sitting here. So I have to stop there and then come back to this space and draw down. I'm going to actually round this up. I want you to do the exact measurements, but I'm going to not do that so that mine is different than yours. Okay, it looks as if I've got about as much of my wall as I can possibly put in. So now comes drawing the house. The house is an unknown distance. So what I'm going to do is approximate where this house is and what it looks like. I could come over here a number of feet and do this, and I have, but I'm going to just kind of estimate this right now. I'm going to infer my geometry here from an endpoint, come back, let that sit. That's where I want it. I'm going to go to the endpoint, come beyond it, because this is what the house looks like. And we're going to come down here. It looks a little bit like an offset T. And we're going to do this, come up. And the important piece is not the house itself. The house is really not an important part of our drawing at all. It's the wall we're looking at. So just to keep everything straight, I'm going to title things as they should be. Let's make this 2 inches in height by 6 inches extruded. Let's not extrude it and see what happens. So this is 2 inches, it looks as if. I may make this more like 6 feet right now just so I can see it more easily. And the text I'm going to put in, you don't have to put this in, but I just want to show you that this is the house. Place that right there. So now I've got the house separated from everything else. What I'm going to ask that you do to further separate the house out is go to your materials bucket, and I'm going to grab this aluminum siding. It could be anything, but I kind of like the aluminum just because it keeps a herringbone pattern that I like. So I'm going to put my aluminum out here, and it looks as if nothing's there because you have to go far, far up there to see that aluminum pattern. I'm going to edit that aluminum pattern. Right now it's a 2.5 by 2.5 inch. I'm going to change this to a 4 foot, and it's going to look a little different, as you can see, as I change that to 4 feet. Okay, so that's done now. Okay, so we have the house. We have kind of the layout of where our wall is going, and we have a property. So here's our yard, here's our property. I'll probably come back in and put some nice looking grass out here. So I'm looking for landscaping. Here's light green grass, dark green grass. We've got all sorts of different vegetation to choose from. Typically what you're going to see on a lot is dirt. We don't have a really great choice of dirt through here, so I'll just grab I don't know, maybe something like this dark green grass would be growing out in the pasture, probably full of weeds, but be that as it may, I might have some nice lawn grass growing inside this yard, and I'll just leave it like that. That's a nice way to set things up. I'm going to call this part 1 because we're at 7 minutes, and I want you to come back and learn about part 2 in the next video. So thank you so much.